So what I'm trying to do for the next 15 minutes is talk about how you can use really good information to make effective decisions. And these decisions can be about investment, policy formulation, etc. So it's very important that we use the correct data to do this. So who we are specialists in data and in evidence. We're town planning, environmental specialists, urban planners, economic planners, using data all the time. We provide strategic insights to enhance decision making, providing defensible solutions, and we trust in what we do. So we are planners, economists, and its centre is very much applied research. Data-driven decision-making is absolutely key. So we're about providing information to the construction sector, the property sector, to overcome some of the the issues that are out there and to respond effectively to solutions that have resulted from chronic problems. We have problems in provision of critical infrastructure in Ireland, provision of housing, provision of healthcare, education. So we need to make proper decisions about this. Success of combating these problems and coming up with solutions is about coming up with effective tools and planning for this and providing decision support solutions. Again, as planners and professions in the built environment, data, GIS are products that are essential for this decision making. And livable communities, improving the overall quality of life, and protecting the environment, promoting economic development, kind of critical input into these and the data that we derive from it to create these solutions. And data collection, modelling, analysis and visualisation can make a significant difference. So what I'm going to do is take you through some projects that we've worked on to show how we use data to really enhance the decision making. And you may be familiar with some of these projects. Some of them have been national right down to regional, local. The first one we worked on was in 2014. It was for the SCSI, and they wanted to understand what is the potential to provide housing within the Dublin region, within the urban areas of the Dublin region. So we went through a very detailed analysis of this. We looked at all of the zoned residential areas. We looked at the demand for housing. We looked at the change in demographic profiles, projected that right up to 2018. And what we found was that there is sufficient land zoned to cater for a significant population increase. But what the issue was there wasn't actually enough activity in the market, so not enough planning applications coming through to support the demand for housing. So we don't have an issue with supply of land. We don't have an issue with the provision of infrastructure. What we had an issue with is activity. Following on from that, you may be familiar with this study that we did. It was for the Housing Agency. So we looked at 272 urban centres across Ireland to see what was their demand for housing for 5 years, from 14 up to 18. And you may have heard the statistic that we need 80,000 units of housing for this 5-year period, equating to approximately 16,000 units per annum. And the key statistic that came out of this was that our household composition is changing. That we need to move away from actually bedroom size and actually think of occupancy size. So we have about 50% of our existing housing stock is made up of 1- and 2-person households, which is incredible. And the rest of the composition is the other 50%. So we need to start thinking about provision of units in that type, as opposed to building our 3, 4, 5 bedroom standard units. The next study we looked at, and this has been in the news quite a bit recently, and I was actually listening to the news talk yesterday and RTE News last night. And we did this work for the SESI again, and it's to determine the average cost of building a 3-bed semi-D. And it's looking at the split between the hard costs and the soft costs. And this is an interactive live tool that you can use. You can download and use from the SESI website. You can make adjustments to it. And what it gives you is an indication of if you adjust your interest rate, if you adjust some of your levies, etc., you can see how that difference impacts on the percentage split between that and the actual hard cost of construction. The next tool or product that we have developed is what we call decision support platforms. So what this allows you to do, and it's bespoke for either private or public sector, and it allows you to use information, all types of information, database, planning information, economic, environmental, property information. It can use, it's a web-based interactive viewer, and it can allow users to generate input and output. And what it does is, and this visual shows it here, so we've overlaid the zoning maps for various development plans for various urban areas. And we have this slider that pulls back and forth, okay? And on that, you can overlay your information with it. So you can turn on where you have your sites, where there's capacity, where there's infrastructure, the property price register, the socioeconomic profile of the area, and you can see with your site or with your potential site, is there competition there? Is there already planning applications there? And what is the zoning for that? So very kind of up-to-date evidence that you can get at your fingertips. The next product that we've developed is using these analytical applications. It's almost like a query function. So if you want to understand particularly information about a particular site, if you want to know the size of the site, if you want to know where it's located, etc., if you want to know within that site what is your competition, what is the number of housing or office blocks for sale, you can actually develop this by quick query analysis. So it gives you up-to-date information, and all this information can be extracted, downloaded, and brought into various reports, analysis, etc. The second last one I want to show you is another application development for added value, and it's looking at household composition. So we wanted to say for all EDs, if you know what an ED is, electoral district, we have about 3,400 or so in the country, and it shows you the household composition of that ED, okay, which is the makeup, whether it's a 1, 2, 3 bedroom house, whether it's a bungalow, whether it's an apartment. And you can get this, again, by an interactive viewer and downloadable. And the very last product that I want to show you here is this constituency dashboard. We've developed this for the House of the Oireachtas. It's going live next month to all the TDs of the Dáil. And what it can allow them to do, based on 5 thematic areas, everything from housing, environment, economic, health, and infrastructure, they can get the information from the census to how our country is changing. They can get this right down to ED level. They can select it for their own constituency. They can use it on a laptop, on an iPhone, on a tablet, and it's right up-to-date information. You can see from this, so these are just some of the visual outputs from it, how easy it is to interpret it. This will be updated when we have the 2016 census. So at the moment what's in there is 2006 and the 2011 census. When the 16 census starts coming out later this year, that will be incorporated into it. So just to summarise, in terms of data, what it can do for evidence-based decision making, it's actionable intelligence is what we're about. So having robust, defensible evidence to inform investment and other strategic decisions. It's evidence-based, strengthening the business case and planning justification. Bespoke tools can be developed, as you saw there, and purpose-built, using key information, also information that we can derive and project forward ourselves. It's dynamic data, so it's changing all the time. As you know, data is continuously changing. It's continuously getting updated, and this can be brought into this situation. And again, it's integrating of business with this information about data analytics and better business acumen. Thank you very much.